So it's been pretty interesting. Let's say our relationship with Jordan Lewis compared to the rest of the cornerbacks on this team, right? We did the last conversation about Cheeto, and this conversation is going to be totally different. Not that, and this is why it's weird, right? Because it's not like Jordan Lewis is that much better than Cheeto, right? We have a terrible relationship with all DBs that have been on this team for the past, I don't know, decade or so, right? And that's from the, I would say, Brandon Carr era to the Claiborne era. And even if you get into some of the more recent guys, right, like like Jeff Heath or whatever, Anthony Brown, guys like Xavier Woods, we just don't have a good relationship with corners, even if it's, or just DBs in general, even if it's a DB that's better than Jordan Lewis, because in my opinion, I think it's, kind of like clear, consensus or whatever. I would say that Byron Jones is a better cornerback than Jordan Lewis, but I don't think that matters when it comes to this conversation. There's something else that's driving us in this Jordan Lewis talk, right? Because once upon a time, first of all, I'm not here for this brand new Chris Richard hate, right? Like, I've been kind of day one with mine or whatever, so I don't need any new people on that bandwagon. But there were some people that loved Chris Richard so much that they were dealing with the notion that, okay, well, maybe Jordan Lewis probably shouldn't be on the field because he doesn't fit that mold that Chris Richard is looking for. If we give Chris Richard what he had in Seattle, then maybe he can turn this defense into what he had in Seattle. But he never did. That wasn't Chris Richard's defense. That was what's his name? Quinn. That coached the Falcons now, whatever. That was his defense. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Richard just kind of took those guys that was in place and just kind of claimed it as his, right? Chris didn't really make anything shaking that way. But, not here to kind of beat a dead horse with that whole thing. But, there were actually a faction of people that was like, hey, man, if we got to sit Jordan Lewis to have our own Legion of Boom in Dallas, let's just kind of do what we got to, do or whatever. But then there's the other faction of people, and I was kind of in this faction of, yo, bro, I don't care how tall this person is because you got a 6-foot corner that can't cover, right? Or at least you got a 6-foot corner that doesn't cover as good as Jordan Lewis. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. And the only time we saw Jordan Lewis get on the field was he was just playing here and there nickel duty. And I understand that they made him play nickel because he's shorter. But Jordan Lewis is a better outside guy. He's just so good that he can play nickel, right? And to be fair, I think Jordan Lewis is a better outside guy than Cheeto is, right? But, it just never worked out. It just never formulated in that way, right? But I wouldn't say that he's that far from Cheeto. Like, if they're both similar in how they play, Jordan Lewis could probably be a little better. But if Jordan is a little more skilled, but Cheeto is absolutely what you want more in terms of build and like physical traits, then I guess that's why, they would end up going with Cheeto or whatever. But what doesn't make sense to me is us as Cowboy fans, our relationship with Jordan Lewis. Because you hear us talk about Jordan Lewis, you would swear that we talking about Jalen Ramsey, we talking about Gilmore, we talking about one of those guys, right? But it's not that. We're looking for something different when we want Jordan Lewis on the field. It's not so much that, hey, we have a lockdown corner and y'all putting him on the bench. That's not necessarily the case here, because I could just as easily make a bad list of plays for Jordan Lewis. I think it's just more so of, hey, man, look, we bad at corner. I wouldn't even say that we bad at corner. We're just not good at corner. And we're not doing everything that we can to get better at corner. Because if we would incorporate Jordan Lewis somehow, right? Even at the end of last season or season before that, I forgot which season it was, but it was like the end of last season or whatever, and Cheeto just kept getting smoked. And then it was like, all right, fine, cool. Let's put Jordan Lewis in there now. Let's just put Jordan in there now. And it was like a little too late, at that point or whatever. And I don't know if that was something that Jason and Chris and them was trying to do to save their job or whatever, but it was way at the end of the season, man. And like, why now? Why now? When every time we see Jordan Lewis on the field, this is the one thing that everybody agree about, right? Whether it be fans, it could be like media people, the .com people, we all agree that Jordan Lewis is better than the guys that you're putting on the field. Right? So what was stopping Jordan Lewis from getting on the field? Like I said, he's not perfect. But I know he was probably a better outside corner than Cheeto was. He was probably a better nickel guy than like AB was. So what's the deal here? What's the deal? Could it be like a personality clash thing to where Cooper and what's his face that was the wide receiver coach Sanjay Law? Could it just be like we're disagreeing, so it's just making for a bad relationship or whatever, and that you just need like new coaches, like a new change of scenery to come in, and then we'll probably like respect Jordan Lewis better in that way. I don't know. But what is it about a coaching staff that make you put one of your better players on the sideline, right? So, we're just fans. We just kind of watching this thing, right? We just watching this thing outside looking in. Is there like a character concern that we don't know about Jordan Lewis? But, because every time we see Jordan Lewis, he's competing. He's making plays. He's a puzzle piece that we all need. I think he was out of the past few years, he's like the second guy in like turnovers on our team. I think Jeff Heath is first, and y'all hated to admit that shit. But Jeff Heath led us in interceptions, and like Jordan Lewis was like second. But every time we put Jordan Lewis on the field, he's making plays. So why take him off? Interesting, And funnily enough, I keep making fun of the Dallas media people or whatever, but like I feel like they be asking the wrong questions. I dead ass feel like they have media, you know what I mean? Like they sit in a room with these coaches like 4 times a week. And nobody has ever decided to look a coach in the face and be like, "Hey man, so Jordan's great. What's the deal, bud? why is he on the sideline?" Every time we put Jordan in, he's swatting passes. We put him in, he's catching interceptions. Oh boy, that damn chess move you made with the Saints, boy. Y'all listen, man. I said this on my the last show. I forgot which show I said it on, but there's no way Chris Richard thought of that by himself. There's no way Chris Richard or Jason, whoever's idea was to go into the Saints. We didn't play dime. We played nickel, and we put Jordan Lewis at linebacker on third downs and made him chase around Alvin. Bro, there's no way our coaching staff thought of that shit by themselves. They had to Google it. They might have called me while I was sleeping. I just gave them some good advice or something while I was sleeping. Didn't know I was talking to. I don't know what it was. They put Jordan Lewis as at nickel. They let him play linebacker. He just chased Alvin all over the place, and he was a Swiss Army knife, and he was fantastic. He was fantastic in that game. And nobody decided to say the week after we beat the Saints, right? Nobody tapped Jason Garrett on the shoulder. So, hey, why did Jordan not starting this? There's an offensive clip. That's crazy. Hey man, why is Jordan Lewis not playing this week? Like he had a really great game versus the Saints. Last week, I mean, he's probably not going to chase a running back around this week, but wouldn't that be some kind of consideration that we get him, involved somehow this week? And it never happened. If I had the opportunity to ask questions, I promise that'll be one of the questions that I would ask, man. I would love to know what y'all think, man. Like we're gonna be talking about this for a little bit, but like, why y'all think Jordan Lewis was on the sideline? Because if my job was on the line, I'm trying to get all of my gangsters out there, and it ain't even a conversation. It ain't even worth talking about. I'm trying to get my guys on the field, the best guys I could possibly get out there, and putting Jordan Lewis on the sideline for AB, who was just getting smoked on the regular. AB became a damn pedestrian out there. He was getting picked on. If you look at one of the sheets or whatever, like I don't like PFF for their rankings and like ratings and stuff like that, how they grade stuff and all that. But when they put numbers together, it's very interesting how how you see things, because they do the obscure stats, right? And I think they had a graphic one time to where, like, y'all know Byron Jones plays on the defensive right, offensive left, or whatever. There was like this graphic that they had that the only side of the field that the opposing quarterbacks threw on in Dallas, they was either throwing the Cheeto side or they was picking on the slot. So the right side of the field was red as hell. You wouldn't even know grass was there, right? They wouldn't throw at Byron at all. They would either be taking advantage of like some linebacker mismatch. They was throwing right at Cheeto, or they was throwing the ball right at Antonio Brown. Anthony Brown, pardon me. They was throwing the ball right at Anthony Brown. Wouldn't even pick on nobody else. And to a point, I'm like, man, if you just gonna throw at AB and throw at Cheeto, can we get one of them out of there? And like I said, it eventually happened. We eventually got those guys up out of there. But why wait so late? Why wait so late, man? I don't know. But moving forward, do I think Jordan Lewis will have a better chance? Look at that play. Look at this play. Hold on. Bring that back. Jordan Lewis at the top of your screen right here, playing on the outside, man. Playing on the outside. He's in zone coverage. That whack ass cover 3 they running. Come on, my guy. Look at that play. Fantastic, Jordan. So now with this new regime, right? With this new regime, ain't no more friends with this new regime. The only people that kind of have, I would say some locked in rank with this new regime is like Trevon Diggs and Reggie Robinson, and I think even Reggie got to watch his back to an extent. Um, so just moving forward, I would imagine that these new coaches, whether it be Mike, whether it be DB coach, whether it be cornerbacks coach or whatever, like you can't watch the film and just continue to deny it. There's no way. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to look at the film and they're going to look at what we're missing with Byron Jones, or what has walked away with Byron Jones, and they're going to be like, how do we replace that? And I don't think they care about money, because Anthony Brown just got paid like a handful of jelly beans or something, like some little money that just didn't mean too much. But Anthony Brown, just because he got paid doesn't mean he's going to be guaranteed a spot. That's on Devontae Adams right there. That's on Devontae Adams. Let's go see Jordan Lewis right here. Oh, wait. Time. Why is this? Stop. Okay, stop. Okay, here we go. Jordan up top. Jordan Lewis up top. Let's see what happens here. Patient. Physical. Listen, man. So they're going to look at Jordan Lewis, right? And they're going to be like, okay, so Byron Jones is no longer here. Who fits this spot? And they're not going to care about AB's money. They're not going to care about Cheeto, because Cheeto doesn't really have a foot in this thing just yet. I think they're probably going to look at the best guys. It'll be a travesty if they came in here and said, Jordan Lewis, you 5'11", we want 6-foot people, you don't make the cut. That'll make me sick, and they should get fired for that. But what's it going to look like when Jordan Lewis actually gets his shot, man? I think one of our better corners is sitting on the bench, bro. I actually think that one of our better corners is sitting on the bench. Will that change? I hope so. Yeah, let me know what y'all think, man. I don't want to ramble too long. I don't know how long this is going to be already or whatever. But matter of fact, let's just kind of watch the film and just like break it down a little bit. I've given my thoughts. I've given my thoughts on it. Let's just kind of break down like 3 more plays. Not even break down. Let's just talk about the next like 3 plays and we'll move on with our life. What Jordan Lewis at? He's at the bottom of your screen. And then move Byron to the other side. That's interesting. But anyway, Jordan down bottom. Let's see. Getting his head around. Look at Jordan Lewis getting his head around. Who else doing that? For the 99 and the 2000? Head around. Look at that. Early, too. Let's see. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Head. That's why it's timing. I'm going to identify the route. I'm going to get on my bike. Look around. Ugh. Damn. Keep on pedaling, Jordan Lewis. We already saw this play, but let's see. Oh yeah, like Jordan Lewis 5'11", but he got the arms though. Look at Jordan Lewis' arms next time you look at him. Like he's short, but he ain't even short. He just an inch shorter than the 6-foot guys, right? But he got arm length though. Jordan Lewis down bottom. Let's see what happens here. That's that damn Chris Richard thing, man. Look at him. Jordan not even looking back. I hate it. I hate that technique. I can't stand it. Like I said, I'm not here for all y'all all this brand new Chris Richard hate. I've been off that train, player. I've been off that train for a long time. Buddy hollering, Voch. Chris Richard is passionate. I want to see some passion from Jason Garrett. Well, Chris Richard is screaming because his cornerbacks is getting ate up. That's why he's screaming. He's not screaming because he's happy. He's screaming because he's pissed off. All right, y'all. That's all I got for y'all, man. I just wanted to show a little bit of that, have a conversation about Jordan Lewis and all that good stuff. And I hope he get his fair shake. If it's up to me, Jordan and Cheeto on the outside, and let Trevon Diggs compete with Anthony Brown for the nickel spot. I think that's how 2020 should go, but who am I? I'm just a YouTuber. All right. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski, the Peasky Whiskey, man. Till next time. Salute.